Seems like the three communist leaders or the corrupt leaders known as Emmanuel Macron, uh, Mark Carney, and Keir Starmer. I'm surprised that Mark Carney wasn't found also in the train car recently with the likes of Emmanuel Macron and Keir Starmer, and also the German chancellor recently with covering up that white powder substance, which actually happened to be coke. But hey, we all know what you guys are doing illegally, I might add. You know what, guys? It's actually very hard to run a country. It's very difficult to run a country when I am very corrupt, that sort of thing. And you got Keir Starmer just playing along with it and knowing full well that his counterparts are very corrupt. But what am I going to do about it? It's almost like Keir Starmer is the weak one and Emmanuel Macron and the German chancellor the strong ones, and Keir's just going along with it. He's kind of like one of those people that just goes, I'll just play stupid because you are stupid. But anyway, apart from the Coke moment, recently, Mark Carney, Keir Starmer, and Emmanuel Macron released a joint statement from the apparently this is like the country, their stance, because hey, if our elected leaders say this, it means that it's how everyone else is bloody well thinking. So they want to show strong unity with one another about this. And also several other countries, aside from the US, Australia included, ladies and gentlemen, because we all know how Spanish Albanese is at the moment, doesn't like Israel. They don't really stand with Israel. And I think this is the beginning of pretty much the end. I really do believe that, where all the countries are turning against Israel, because that's exactly what this statement is. You can't really go, I stand with Israel, and then release a statement like this saying, Israel, you've got to stop everything, because what you're doing is horrendous. What are they supposed to do? Give up and let Hamas take over? All right. You all, three dingbat leaders, Emmanuel Macron, Keir Starmer, Mark Carney, who is, how do I describe Mark Carney? Net zero. I can't use the G word because apparently it's not allowed on this platform. I found out. GLOBIST kind of individual. One that is heavily corrupt. If you don't know anything about Mark Carney, I encourage you to do some research on the man. But here's what they say in a joint statement on the situation in Gaza and the West Bank. We strongly oppose the expansion of Israel's military operations in Gaza. Let me get a little bit closer, right? The level of human suffering in Gaza is intolerable. We'll talk to Hamas about that, because it's not really about Israel, is it? You're more angry at the actual leaders of Gaza, the ones that were elected, I might add. Yesterday's announcement that Israel will allow a basic quantity of food into Gaza is wholly inadequate. Strong words from the three big countries. Very strong indeed. We call on the Israeli government to stop its military operations in Gaza and immediately allow humanitarian aid to enter into Gaza. Well, once they release the hostages, I think that's a fair deal, don't you? This must include engaging with the UN to ensure a return to delivery of aid in line with humanitarian principles. Well, talk to the one governing Gaza at the moment, because they're not adhering to any humanitarian principles at all. But no, it's Israel's fault, people. It's all up to Israel. We call on Hamas to release immediately the remaining hostages they have so cruelly held since the 7th of October, 2023. Well, I'm glad you called for the release of the hostages, but I wonder if the group that you're referring to in your statement is actually going to care or listen, because they haven't even listened to President Trump. So why do you think they're going to listen to you three dingbats? The Israeli government's denial of essential humanitarian assistance to the civilian population is unacceptable. I wonder if these three all got together aside from Carney. Maybe Carney was doing coke in a different room aside from the actual train cart. I wonder if Keir Starmer, the Chancellor, and Emmanuel Macron on that, after visiting Zelensky and taking part in the white powdery substance, decided to go, you know what? Oh, what's a good idea? We can go after the likes of Israel because Israel is not doing anything humanitarian in Gaza at the moment. Yes, great idea. Oh, fantastic. Let's go. Let's create a statement together. Yep, let's do that. Quick, hide the coke. The cameras are coming. That's what it seems like with a statement like this. But anyway, what do I know? Because these three dingbats that are taking coke in a train car making a statement that is just, wow, I'm amazed. I really am amazed by it. Oh dear. We condemn the abhorrent language used recently by members of the Israeli government, threatening that in their despair at the destruction of Gaza, civilians will start to relocate. Permanent forced displacement is a breach of international humanitarian law. You don't say. I wonder who started that. Not Israel. Surely. You can't blame Israel for that. Oh, but they've got strong, harsh language. Hang on. Oh, that was good. Yes, Israel. This is against humanitarian law. Stop right now. Israel suffered a heinous attack on October 7th. We have always supported Israel's right to defend Israelis against the likes of the T word. But this escalation is wholly disproportionate. I love the use of language. One can only imagine someone being on the likes of a white powdery substance to come up with such words. We will not stand by while the Netanyahu government pursues these egregious actions. If Israel does not cease the renewed military offensive and lift its restrictions on humanitarian aid, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, as much as we possibly can, we will take further concrete actions in response. Like what? What are you going to do? And that's what I said in the very beginning. This seems to be like the end, whereby all the countries in the West are turning against Israel. Gee. We oppose any attempt to expand settlements in the West Bank. Israel must halt settlements which are illegal and undermine the viability of a Palestinian state and the security of both Israelis and Palestinians. We will not hesitate to take further action, including targeted sanctions. Gee. So you're going to do targeted sanctions on the one group in the Middle East that you can actually depend and rely on to protect you from the likes of terror in that region. Are you nuts? Wait, yes, you are, because you're on coke, but that's another discussion for another time. Oh, also, this statement is coming out after Emmanuel Macron decided to host the likes of this guy. Have a watch. See if you can recognize this figure. This is Galani. Galani, if you don't know who he is the former terror group leader known as... He was part of the group, now Syrian leader, who allowed Muslims to massacre the likes of Christians, rules, you name it. Yeah, so France welcomed him, same with the UK, welcomed this same man with open arms. A man that has got blood on his hands, Israeli, Christian, you name it. Arab, doesn't matter. Yeah, so they've released this statement being rather strong in their condemnation of Israel, but yet they allow a terror group leader into the country and they shake hands with him and take photos with him and goodness knows what they did together. We strongly support the efforts led by the United States, Qatar, and Egypt to secure an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. It is a ceasefire, the release of all remaining hostages, and a long-term political solution that offer the best hope of ending the agony of the hostages and their families, alleviating the suffering of civilians in Gaza, ending Hamas control of Gaza, and achieving a pathway to a two-state solution. I don't think you're going to get a two-state solution, but hey, and I don't think you're going to get an end to Hamas's rule in Gaza by just saying we strongly condemn Israel. Because if Israel gives up like you want them to, you're not going to see an end of Hamas's control. No. You're going to see an uptick, quite extremely so. But anyway, who are we to say? Keep doing your coke, prime ministers, you bloody dingbats. No idea. We will continue to work with the Palestinian Authority, regional partners, Israel and the United States to finalize consensus on arrangements for Gaza's future. Building on the Arab plan, we affirm the important role of the high-level two-state solution conference at the UN in June in building international consensus around this aim. And we are committed to recognizing a Palestinian state as a contribution to achieving a two-state solution and are prepared to work with others to this end. Go back to smoking or snorting your coke, you ridiculous, pathetic excuses of these three are exactly why all three countries are going down the incessant black hole. Can you tell why? They're idiots. Anyway, that does me. You guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.